It's not about caring about what people think, but it's about knowing whatever happens with you owning that people are going to dislike you, people are going to hate you. There's going to be the real true fans out there that are wanting just to be a part of your world. Now, the whole point of this episode is to help you understand the importance of owning your voice and how important that gets to be an opportunity and invitation of maybe reflecting your own speaker identity. And the thing that might be holding you back is you're playing safe in the business or you don't feel like you're ready yet. I remember first starting in the business space, and a lot of the elements I sort of explain in a way is the We are back with Say It With Your Chest, and I'm your host, Tamara Maya. This is an episode on the seasons of my speaking glow up. Now, the whole point of this episode is to help you understand the importance of owning your voice and how important that gets to be an opportunity and invitation of maybe reflecting your own speaker identity. And maybe some of you guys who have been watching me for a while have always known that they're meant for something more. And the thing that might be holding you back is you're playing safe in the business or you don't feel like you're ready yet. I'm going to take you through the seasons I've had to see where you're at, but also the invitation for you guys to start owning your voice and maybe leaning into really leveraging this important asset of being a speaker. Now, before I get into this episode, if you haven't yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, please click the button below so we can have more impact on other incredible business owners who are here to build a legacy, who are here to say it with their chest, who know they're meant for more and they have big, bold moves and a message that stands so strong they're willing to do anything to really shake and shape the world for being something greater than themselves. All right, let's get into this incredible episode. How I've sort of put this together is I remember first starting in the business space, and even before that, let's look at when I was in the fitness space. And a lot of the elements I sort of explain in a way is the echo season. And the echo season is where I felt very new in business and I felt like I had to prove myself. And how I did that was rather than really owning who I was basically feeling so uncertain and insecure in my journey that I was copying so many different people when it came to how I spoke, how I showed up, how I built businesses, the mentors, even, certain friends that I, looked up to. I was being them, but not even owning who I was. And this is such a big common thing where whether you're a business owner or you're leaning into being a speaker, it's natural for us to look for inspiration or aspirations and putting people up there on pedestals. But what gets to happen and what tends to happen and what happened to me in this season from a newbie, I didn't trust myself to make decisions for myself and learning more about me, and I loved when I became in this echo phase of this business, I find that this was filtering through my business with my content, the way I was speaking online and even the office I was building. So this season, what this did was almost like a fake it till you make it mentality. And I have almost had this really weird relationship with this because I believe there is fake it till you become it. But if you're faking it and you're not actually learning through the process and going on a journey of what you get to discover about yourself, you're losing sight of who you are and you're tuning into other people's voices. You're silencing your own greatness and you're looking to others to be like them when your most powerful asset is within. And so naturally we turn the volume down and we look to others for how we show up, how we speak, how we build businesses, how we build offers, marketing strategies, everything. So this echo season changed pretty much when I went from the fitness space into the life coaching space. And I learned so much about me very horribly, learning personal development. And I know everyone who's listening this, it was almost like I needed to learn about my internal world to understand why I was who I was, why I had these elements of myself that I wasn't proud of, and also how I was in such a victim mentality. And I was also in a place of safety and insecurity, and I didn't understand why I was being the person I was. There was a lot of facade, but also when I had this awareness piece of stepping into this new season I'm talking about now, experiment season, where when I discovered personal development, I started to understand more of me, my purpose, my mission, my vision, my values from a business perspective, from a personal perspective, from a brand perspective. It was almost like a smack in the face that I was like, shit, this is something I've started to be doing. This is something I've been doing for this whole time in my life. As a dancer, professional actor, as a fitness coach, I was in facade. I was in fake pretend. stepping into then the realization of becoming a life coach, it was almost like I now get to understand why I want to help people, but coming from a new lens of knowing that this gets to be in a season of experiment. So in this season of experiment, when you have this aha light bulb moment, this is where you're leaning into the reps. The reps of owning your voice, the speaker season, the business season, where you're doing all of the a million things. You're doing as many lives as possible, posting as much content. You just want to be in front of everyone. You just want everyone to work with you because now you're more confident in this season of your life. And you're probably doing as many million masterclasses. You're getting in front of so many different events. And this experiment season became a permission slip of me choosing me and also owning who I was. I think I was still at that phase of safety and not fully letting go of just owning all the parts of me, which in experiment season, you're testing this new identity. You're stepping into this version of yourself. You're learning the foundations. You're learning more about you. You're testing your audience. You're testing what you're about. You're finding out what your messaging is. And I think this is an opportunity for you guys to know that this is part of the journey of the seasons you're in. Whether it's a speaking season, the business season, the experimental season is testing how the message is landing for you, but also your audience, but also the direction you get to go in. This is where it does become a bit of hustle mentality. It does become leaning into your masculine more because in this experimental season, you want to do all the things at once. And it was such a great opportunity when I stepped into being a business coach, now speaker with the business coach consulting space. That's when I started to understand how much I could start to let go of that grip in this season where now we're in this new phase of the business, the new phase of speaking season, and that is the expert season. This is when you become your authority season. This is when you're like, oh my God, the confidence is built. I've got clients coming in. I've built the IP. I've got, great rapport with my clients. I'm growing. I'm leaning into more of my feminine. I'm owning my voice. I'm choosing me. I'm building the team. But then we start to see what that can start doing. It starts to bring forward, elements of yourself that you're wanting to work on. And it's choosing all parts of you. So the expert scene then turns into who are you online versus who are you behind closed doors. How do I make that even? And you're basically connecting with these two versions of you that we want to bring forward more in the presence of speaking and online space. Because in this season of expert, you do not need to hide all parts of you anymore. In fact, you're leaning more of your character. You're amplifying your voice more. Your message is standing. It's incredibly impactful. And then we're going into the phases of, if this is where I'm going now, what's the next level of that? What's the next level of growth from these seasons of speaking, the seasons of business? So we're from the beginning phase of echo into experiment to expert. The EEE, the expert is now the authority. The new season I'm in right now, where I've gone from expert, this is the season of being the edge. The edge season is that next layer of authority, the next layer of an expert, and it's where the business and the speaking identity combines and you're stepping into visionary. So now you're above authority and now you're not just needing to sell an offer to get people to work with you. You're selling yourself. You are the offer. This is the season I'm in right now, and it's such an edge because you're on that next level of precipice. And this is where legacy is built because you're so driven by your mission. People just want to be in your world because of you and who you are. Everything else becomes honestly a byproduct. So when you're in that edge season, it's pretty fucking scary and exciting because now you're open to the opportunities of going global and huge visibility, but also your team is growing. And what you stand for is that one message that you get to speak on stages, on podcasts, at workshops and events. So the seasons of my speaking glow up from the beginner of the echo, the experimental phase of testing the messaging and starting to build that confidence to becoming the expert, being the authority. Now I'm in the visionary phase. And this is where we get to be more in our creative flow. We're in our zone of geniuses, which means all parts of the business are now being delegated and outsourced. You're implementing your IP into systems and tech and apps and AI. And this is where you get to be more doing the things you love. For me, it's being able to coach my students in Empire School and also coaching my students when it comes to speaking and also my speaking journey as well. Now, Everyone has these phases we go through, whether you are in the echo or you're experiencing in that phase of testing what's working. It's all part of the growth journey. And I want you to see this as a glow up to also start sharing this seasons that you're in, whether it's echo, expert, or experience, or edge, that this is an invitation for your audience to be on this journey with you too. Because the more you're sharing the journey and growth, the more people are going to be wanting to connect with you as the founder. That is how you fast track your brand and visibility, as well as owning that visionary legacy status. And that's what we're chasing from a place of service. So this episode is about really reflecting on the seasons I've been and how this might be relevant to you, where you are at, and what needs to change for you to go up a level. Because really we're up leveling, another level, another devil. And naturally what tends to happen when we're in that phase of change, imposter will creep in, but it's only because you're up leveling, and it'll feel really scary and it'll feel really cool at the same time too. So it's leaning into what's possible, owning what phase you're in. And the question is, what do you need to change to go up the level? What are you doing that's keeping you muted, silent, safe, or hiding behind the business, or downing, or playing down your voice, playing down your brilliance? Because when you're in that edge, you're not downplaying yourself. You're owning all parts of you. Tam owns parts of herself when she's having fun with her friends, parts of herself with her partner, Jordan. When it comes to our relationship, I'm owning my business. I'm who I am. What you see is what you get. And that's the edge season I want you to start aiming for. So I'd love to hear from you guys when it comes to sharing your vision on the phases you're in. What speaking glow up are you in? And I'd love to invite you guys to connect with me on that, because I'd love to hear more on your say it with your chest moment. To wrap this up on how to be stepping into that visionary, when you're stepping into the edge, it's not about caring about what people think, because naturally we will always care what people think. But it's about knowing whatever happens with you owning that people are going to dislike you, people are going to hate you, but there's going to be the true fans out there that are wanting just to be a part of your world. And they're the people that you want to be serving and working towards, because no matter what, there's always going to be people that don't agree with you. But into that edge, you're not choosing to listen to that. You're choosing to drown that volume down and put your volume up on owning that visionary and legacy and having that edge forever. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. My name is Tamara Meyer, and I look forward to seeing you next week. I remember the first time I spoke on stage. My heart was racing, palms sweaty, voice was shaking. I was terrified. Not because I didn't know what to say, but because deep down I was afraid of being seen. I was afraid of my own power. But here's the truth no one tells you. Speaking isn't about perfection. It's about connection. When you step onto stage, whether it's a room of 10 or 10,000 people aren't just listening to your word. They're feeling your energy. They're watching to see, does this person believe in what they're saying? Does this person believe in themselves? The power to command a room comes from owning your story, not performing a script. That's what amplifies your voice, and that's what creates impact. I spent years shrinking myself, dimming my light, thinking I had to sound like everyone else to be taken seriously. The moment I let go of the performance and I chose to lead with my truth, my voice changed, my business changed, my life changed, and that's what I want for you. Because when you learn to speak with authority, to lead with conviction, to show up as the fullest, boldest version of you, you don't just inform, you transform. Own your message and create the kind of presence that moves people into action, because your voice is your greatest asset. It's time to use it. So if you're ready to stop shrinking, if you're ready to step into the leader you were born to be, join me at Show Up and Speak Live. The mic is waiting, the world is waiting, and so am I.